Welcome, everyone, to the L7C Podcast Content Tuesday edition. Today, we have another big college football week for the Ohio State Buckeyes. It is Beat Penn State week. We got the OGs of the L7C, the anime expert Cedric Ware, and the captain Byron Mitchell. How are you guys doing this evening?
Doing good. Doing good. A little nervous about these Buckeyes, but we're here.
I'm just happy to be here. We'll see how this goes.
um, as it goes, like I said, it's Penn State week, but before Penn State, we had to play Nebraska. Ohio State. Ohio State was coming off the bye week, as we lost to Oregon, had a bye week. Thought we were going to see some, flames coming from the Buckeyes off of bye week, and we did not see that, Byron. We actually were losing in the fourth quarter at a point in time during this game. So take it away.
Yeah, we ended up coming back and winning 21-17 on Saturday. Will Howard, 13 for 16, 221 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 1 fumble. What I'm noticing about Will Howard, he's good for interception and a fumble in a game. So that's like his average, which is strange. Run game was barely effective. Quinton Judkins, 10 for 29 yards. He did have one receiving touchdown. Ray Henderson, 10 for 25 yards. It was basically the Carnell Tate show this game, 4 for 102 yards and a nice touchdown. Jeremiah Smith, 3 for 70, his one touchdown a game. Mecca Buka had a quiet game, 3 for 20. The defense did have a better performance this week at 3 sacks, 13 tackles for losses, 2 forced fumbles, which I don't think they recovered, and a game-saving interception by Jordan Hancock. What I didn't like is how we couldn't move the ball on offense. We did have the backup of offensive tackle, and because Josh Simmons had a season-ending injury in the Oregon game, Zen Mahalski was that backup offensive tackle, and he was getting bullied the whole entire game by Nebraska's D-line. They were getting a lot of pressure on Howard, and it was also causing our stagnant run game. So basically, what I didn't like is how slow our offense was looking this game.
How about you, Cedric? What'd you like? What didn't you like? This was after Nebraska got destroyed last week. We were talking about Indiana. Ohio State was a 25 and a half, 26-point favorite in this game, and they came out with a 4-point win.
Short list of what I liked. Will Howard, the passing game. 16 attempts. That's not a ton in college football or in football in general. He only threw the ball 16 times, 13 to 16 was completed. He threw 1 pick, but he threw 3 touchdowns. I think that's probably the only, no offense to, Cardinal Tate get 102 yards, that's dope. He had a 40-yard bomb for one of the touchdowns, and then Jeremiah Smith had a 60-yard bomb for another one of the touchdowns. So I think that was possibly the only positives, honestly, for me of the game. Our defense did save us because the one portion of this Buckeyes team that we usually rely on and don't really have to worry about ever, we actually complain that they don't do it enough, is the run game. And I can't sit here and say that Judkins nor Henderson had enough. They both had 10 attempts at it. And they both got under 30 yards, so that means they're getting less than 3 yards per carry. I don't know if it was a question, because I know we put up our 14 before half, and then we didn't do shit in the third quarter.
Nope.
At all. And I don't know if it is them trying to work out things, because I know we want to develop the run game. We got, there's still 2 of the top running backs in the nation. And I don't know if it's just, again, offensive line, I push deep. Nebraska has a good defensive line. We saw that against Colorado. They can put pressure on the quarterback. They can stuff the run. But I like to think that our running backs in our running game is better than Colorado's, because Colorado does not have a running game. Honestly, the defense played well. I don't like that we can't confidently stop the run as consistently. While we're not giving it like big plays like we were against Michigan the last couple of years when we faced premier running backs, I felt like on those momentum plays that kept Nebraska like keep going and getting close to the point where they're leading in the fourth quarter, we gave up some key runs, like moments where we could have got a stuff or we could have stopped them and forced like at least a third down, or could have got a fourth and short on those third down and shorts. We let them convert. And honestly, from a Nebraska team whose running back I honestly didn't know too well, he was doing okay. I mean, Dylan Raiola didn't really even kill us because he didn't have any touchdowns. He threw one pick. Like, if you looked at this game on paper, it looked like we just shot ourselves in the foot a lot of it because it's not even like Nebraska played amazingly. But if you look at the score, you could tell they played a tough game. I honestly think we got caught looking ahead because, I mean, Nebraska's coming off getting trounced by Indiana. Thought this may have been an easy win. People started getting sluggish, took it a little bit for granted. And we're fortunate we got out of here with a win, honestly, because if Raiola completes that pass, and this is a freshman quarterback leading that Nebraska team to only losing by 4 against the number 4 team in the nation. If he makes that pass and they keep marching down that field, we may fucking lose that game. And honestly, I think we could kind of write off a potential Big Ten championship matchup. We're praying on the top 5 through 12 at that point in time.
Yeah, agreed. I think one of the glaring things is, like you said, Cedric, besides Gentry at Boise State, I wouldn't say there's any other team in the country who has a better running back or backs than Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that Ohio State only rushed for 64 yards total the whole game, and they had 31 rushing attempts. When we were seeing those explosive, again, we saw those explosive plays when talent wasn't equal. Not saying Nebraska has equal talent Ohio State, but it's better than some of the teams we played in September.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just bad. And the other thing, 1 for 10 on third down?
God.
That's bad. Like, that is really bad. 1 for 10 on third down is not going to get you a Big Ten championship. It's not going to win you playoff games, and it's definitely not going to win you a national championship.
Mm-mm.
Like, I just don't understand where the run game just magically. I never thought with those two running backs that we don't have under 100 yards in a game.
Agree?
Yeah.
Especially when we're seeing each of them every now and then, every other week, breaking at least a 20, 30-yard run.
Yeah, that's what we were seeing all the time. And it would have been different if this was the game directly, like a week after Oregon. We're still sour about it. This is, again, another game that we had a whole week to prepare for. We just came off a bye week. Nebraska's the one who just got trounced last week. We were there practicing, and it was still this close a game.
Yeah, I don't understand how both of our bye weeks, the game after we looked very unprepared.
Yeah. Who knows what happens again? Like Cedric said, if we don't get that interception just to end the game, who knows what happens? But we were lucky, like Cedric said, to get that win in Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
And then we move on to the Penn State game, which, I mean, this is 2 top 4 teams. College game day will be there. Big noon kickoff will be there. Everyone's going to be there. It's the marquee game of the weekend. It's the first Saturday of November where the contenders are truly made. Like, here we go again. Currently, LSU is a 3.5, 4-point favorite, depending on where you look. Drew Aller, we don't know his health status as time of recording. Byron, what are you expecting from this one, man?
I don't know. I don't know what to expect out of last week's Ohio State team. Like if that Ohio State team shows up, we could be in for a very long game against Penn State. I am nervous about our O line, specifically Zen Mahalski.
Mm-hmm.
If he can't get it together, he's going to be in for another long game against Penn State. And then that trickles down to getting pressure on the quarterback, which causes Will Howard to throw his one interception a game. Maybe more this game if we can't get our O-line together. And then our run game is just stagnant, and then we'll have to rely on the pass, which causes us to be one-dimensional, which is never good for a football team.
Cedric, you talked about the Big Ten championship game and getting there. I mean, again, this is a playoff game because whoever loses this game is not making the Big Ten title game. Penn State doesn't play Indiana the rest of the way. They play Washington, Purdue, Minnesota, Maryland, all teams that are not in contention for the Big Ten title game. Obviously, we got Indiana down the road, and we got Michigan, and then we'll see where the chips lay. But loser of this game, I'm pretty sure, is not going to make the Big Ten title game.
I agree. I think this is the one weird fucking possibility. There's all types of odd possibilities of. Because Penn State doesn't play Indiana, doesn't play Oregon.
Nope.
That those teams, in theory, because they only play Ohio State, will have one loss. And we'll all have one loss.
Mm-hmm.
And we're the ones that can be the tiebreakers because if we beat Penn State, we beat Indiana.
Yep, we'll have the
tiebreaker. Oregon again.
Yep.
Because the only loss we have is to the team we be playing.
Yes.
Unless somehow one of these teams trip up down the way, which, I mean, I don't necessarily see happening, but it's college football. Anything can fucking happen. For us, our focus, it is we have to keep winning. We can't sit here and hope that Oregon loses to some random team one week, Indiana loses to another team. We can't count on that.
Yep.
We're gone from the days, and I honestly really hope Buckeye fandom is gone from the days of hoping that other teams get us in to contention into playoff. Because it's too often that you're I feel like now more that, especially with this 12-team playoff, when it was the 4, we always hear well, we're outside on the bubble. Maybe if so-and-so loses and this person loses, maybe we can get in.
Every year, especially those 3 years we were losing to Michigan.
And so that's no longer it's not a positive outset. It's not a positive mindset. That's not what we should be looking forward to. We should be sitting there thinking hey, let's win our fucking games. Because if we win our games, we'll be there.
Yep.
Especially in this format. If we win our games, if we win the conference, we're in.
Yep.
It's really as simple as that. Don't leave it to question. Don't leave it up to the committee. Don't tell them what seeding we should be in. Win the fucking games. Win that grudge match against Oregon. Get into the playoff. It's really straightforward. That's what the mission should be. Not let's see what happens and let's see what shakes out. And it all starts with Penn State.
Yeah.
We've already missed Oregon once. We can't afford it. Honestly, Brian Day, I'm sorry, you can't afford another top 4 loss this early, in the regular season. So if we make the playoff, what the fuck are you going to do?
Yep. I mean,
if we can't beat these teams in our conference, which no offense to Oregon, no offense to Penn State, there are great teams in other conferences that are very comparable to those teams offensively and defensively.
Yeah.
So if you can't beat them now in the slate to get there, then we're not going to get there. We're not going to get anywhere. We're just going to make the playoff and get bounced.
Yeah, right now Ohio State is 4th in the Big Ten with a 3-1 record. Penn State's 4-0. Oregon and Indiana are both 5-0. Again, this is why this is literally a playoff game because we would take the 3rd. And again, you don't know what's going to happen with Indiana. They haven't been in this spot in a very long time. They're currently the number 13th ranked team in the country. They got Michigan State this week, then Michigan, and then Ohio State. Who knows? Who knows what they do there? Because I can see that Michigan game. I can see Indiana looking ahead really bad because they know if they beat Ohio State, they are going to the Big Ten championship game. So it's an inexperienced. They've never been there before. So I see them looking ahead a little bit in a ways. But like Cedric said, we cannot worry about any other team that is not currently on our schedule and who we are not playing against. So the only team we need to worry about is Penn State currently, right now, if the playoffs started today, Ohio State would be the 6th seed. They would be playing. Ooh, this team is red hot since that first loss in Notre Dame. They'd be playing Texas A&M.
Oh, damn.
Like, that's why also, respectfully to the 12th seed, that's why if you're not one of the top 4 seeds, the 5th seed's the most important seed because you play the group of 5 team. And like I said, upsets can happen. Upsets could happen. But I don't know. That's actually a good question. Like, if we were the 5th seed, we would be playing Gentry in Boise State. Who would you rather want to play, Texas A&M, or we have to try and defend Gentry?
A&M.
A&M? You'd rather
Honestly,
play A&M?
I'd rather play Boise State.
Okay.
I'd rather play Boise State.
That way our run defense is. I don't know.
I mean, even if our run defense was great, like Gentry's going to get hits, but that's going to burn a lot of clock. And I don't know what Boise State's pass defense is like, where, no offense to Boise State, I don't think they're playing like a comparable team that we're built like. Like Texas A&M is playing in the SEC.
Yeah, the best one, they took Oregon to the absolute limit and lost by 3. That's the only very like similar game that Boise has. But you're right. I mean, the thing is too is like, then if you play Boise, you get to, because right now BYU is the top team in conference wise in their thing. I'd rather play BYU than play Texas A&M, beat them, and then we have to play Cam Ward in Miami.
Oh God.
That's why you don't
I ain't trying to see that man celebrate, bro. His celebration is hilarious, but I ain't trying to see that man do that to us all damn night.
Yeah, and I want to stay away from Georgia too. So that's what you need.
Man, they be in Miami too, right?
Yeah,
because the top 4 gets a home. Man, those lights going on and off. No, thank you.
Yeah, because apparently Miami is 3.
Yeah. So we don't want that. I mean, that's why I want to win the conference or at least get to the 5th seed. And also, we talked about Ryan Day, man. This game is really important for Mr. the OG, the original James Franklin, because the record's what the record is, just like over here. He's 1-6 against top 10 teams at home, 5-9 against ranked teams at home, 1-8 versus top 5 teams, 1-9 against Ohio State. Ever since we've had this podcast, we've had the same conversation every year during Penn State week. The man can beat everyone in the Big Ten but 2 teams, Ohio State and a good Michigan. And every time, because he was beating Michigan before they've flipped the switch these past couple of years, but every time he gets left out of the playoff when it was 4-team, because he would go 10-2 every year. Right now, they'd be in the playoffs. They would actually be the 5th seed. They'd be ahead of us. So, what's taking our fandom aside? I think this game is more important for James Franklin. It's in his house. Now, he didn't get the night game because of Fox, but
yeah,
this is the time to prove it, man. I mean,
this is gut check time for sure for James Franklin, especially for this franchise. Like, well, not for franchise, for the program.
Yeah,
because we talk about Ryan Days in our frustration because we know we could be championship caliber teams because we recruit very well and our players are really fucking good and we'd be right there on the doorstep every now and then.
Yep.
James Franklin, honestly, I can't say like Penn State has like has ever had like a ridiculous recruiting class to the point of like we talk about them like they're not necessarily like noteworthy. Like they have good players and they always have a good position players and like a couple 3 to 4 guys that will make noise. But James Franklin, I guess I don't know if that just speaks to his ability as a coach. Like you're getting it done with just that. But every time, like Martin just said, like they are always 2 games short.
Yep.
And I think for them, I feel like we're in a similar question of if they got rid of James Franklin, who would they get? Is that person going to change or be able to do anything different? Because I don't think they're going to get any crazy better recruits. Like, if it's Penn State and it's the Big Ten, yes, but like we just added a whole bunch of teams from the Pac-12 And I think that they're struggling with that. But Franklin wants to keep his job. This is your dream. This is it. This is the first year. You've been part of the committee of people asking for this. You and Lane Kiffin asking for this type of shit. At least you're doing better than Lane. At least you in the picture right now. Like Lane ain't even in the picture. So this is your chance. This is your shot. If you can't get it done, I don't know what to really tell you, my guy. Like,
yeah, because I don't know what Penn State's 2025 schedule is, because I don't know if they're going to play Oregon and Ohio State next year or just Oregon. I don't know who they're playing who, but right now, this has been your Ryan Day said they circled this game just like the Oregon game. This is the only big game Penn State has in the regular season. They already beat Illinois, USC, UCLA. Like, this is their big game, because Washington, Purdue, Minnesota, Maryland, they close out the season. Like, this is it for them, man.
mm-hmm.
If they want to get to the Big Ten championship game, they got to do it now, because you don't know when Michigan's going to be good again. You don't know if this Indiana thing's sustainable. Get your one now.
Yeah. Before everything changes next year.
You already know what's going to be said when he loses. If he loses, same old James, just like it's for everyone. Same old Lane. And you got the pieces, man. You probably got the best tight end in the country.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got a great defense. Your team, your team has heart from that game against USC at USC.
Like, honestly, the last game, this past one, no, it's Wisconsin, but still, Drew Ayler went down, and that backup came in. He slung it. I think he was, 11 for 13? Something like that. He only missed a couple passes. Coming in cold just like that, just finishing out to sustain the game. Like, it wasn't like anything crazy, but still a lot of pressure to come in when the starter goes down. And they're like, hey, we need you to finish this off for us. Like,
yeah. I don't know. This is very interesting, because, that place is going to be rocking. Will Howard, he already said that, like, he's been looking forward for this game for a while, because he wanted to go to Penn State all his life. They didn't recruit him, didn't think he was good enough. So now we're going to find out on Saturday. I like that. I like the internet, but then I also like, hey, don't try and do too much.
We don't need you to be a hero. We just need you to be. That's what I'm looking for.
Just be Will Howard.
Just play the game. Yeah.
Just play the game.
Yeah, just play the game. Don't try and do some extra stuff and be like, oh yeah, I should recruit, blah blah. The only thing guaranteed that's been guaranteed every game is Jeremiah Smith scoring a touchdown.
Yes, that will happen.
It's been clockwork. So,
damn it, Ohio, doing player props.
Yeah,
that should hit every week.
Yeah, that's someone else in a different state's been rolling over those wins and making a whole lot of money. So, going back to the tournament bracket right now, like I already said, we would be playing Texas A&M. This would be the first round. Clemson would be playing Tennessee, Penn State, Boise, and Texas, Notre Dame. Then the winner of Texas, Notre Dame would play Georgia. The winner of Ohio State, Texas A&M would play Miami. Winner of Penn State, Boise, play BYU. And the winner of Clemson, Tennessee will play Oregon. And this is the last Tuesday we will be recording without the official college football playoff rankings, because they start next Tuesday. So we'll know exactly what the committee's thinking. We'll see where they seed these first couple ones. Obviously, our game is the marquee game of the weekend. So that's going to play into a lot of the ranking. So, because there's literally no other top 25 matchup besides us.
There is.
Which one is it?
SMU and Pittsburgh, I think.
Oh yeah, Pittsburgh is right. That's right. You're right.
Yeah, it's an ACC matchup.
Right. No top 10 matchup besides us this weekend.
Yeah.
Oof. All right. This is, Byron, what do you think the score? What's going to be your final score?
I'm gonna. That's tough, because I don't know which Ohio State team coming out. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say 24-21.
Okay. Cedric?
I'm gonna go 28-24.
I'm in the same ball range. I'm gonna say 28-21.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in that. I don't see an offensive explosion yet unless one team just completely crumbles
Mm-hmm.
under pressure. But man, that Saturday morning is gonna be something leading up to that noon game.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We will see on that. Speaking of other just things around, this game would have been a big game if they were good. I mean, Michigan and Oregon.
Yeah.
I mean, if they were, maybe I don't know. Michigan's only job now is just to play spoiler in the conference.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of teams that are becoming just you got to play spoiler in your conference.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's at Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Michigan.
And like I said, Penn State's never been in this position in a very long time. Like every game they play matters because they're ranked in the top 13 and they got Michigan State. So
is it at Indiana or at Michigan State?
Michigan State.
Still take Indiana.
And you got Kentucky and Tennessee. Tennessee's got to be careful. Kentucky, they've been scrapping against the top teams this year.
Oh, they've been trying to play spoiler for everyone.
They might get Tennessee. They got to be careful. Same with Louisville and Clemson. Louisville trying to be spoilers too. I mean,
honestly, South Carolina and A&M.
Yep.
Yeah, South Carolina trying to play spoiler. Almost beat Alabama.
Oh yeah. I mean, and now Alabama and LSU both get the week off this week before they play each other next week.
How does that keep happening for Alabama? They got a bye week before they played Georgia. Got a bye week before they play LSU.
Byron, didn't we get the same thing? Did we?
Well, yes. In a way.
Yes, Oregon.
Well, I mean, I guess that's as close as we was going to get.
Yeah.
That was as close as we was going to get. Like, we can't just copy them niggas. Like, that'd be kind of fucked up. Like, if we come out like, we need a bye week before Oregon and a bye week before Penn State, like.
I mean, because this rest of this slate, I mean, is Purdue, Northwestern. Those are going to be both blowouts in theory. Then Indiana, Michigan. And the Purdue, Northwestern, and Indiana games are all still to be determined time-wise. I know if Indiana's undefeated by the time we play, I know they will be big noon kickoff.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, we'll see. We'll see on this one. But, no, let's talk also, too, with Pittsburgh. Wasn't Pittsburgh just the team that destroyed Syracuse?
Yes. Yes, they were.
That was last Friday in Kyle McCord's worst game of his life.
Yes.
That's what I thought. Pittsburgh got a defense. They do have a defense, but I didn't know they were. Oh, boy, that was rough.
That was rough.
Oh, but anyway.
RUFF.
Man really threw 5 interceptions, 3 pick sixes.
I was like, he threw 3 pick sixes and then 2 more.
Yeah.
Oh, God. That was something. But let's talk about some performances, guys. Byron, start off. What performances you got for this week, of the past week?
I am going to go Dylan Gabriel. He went 18 for 26, 291 yards, 3 touchdowns, and had a rushing touchdown. So he is my performance of the week.
Cedric?
Nice. Man, I'm going to shout out to the U. My guy, Damian Martinez, running back, 15 attempts, 148 yards, 2 rushing tutties. Man was out there grinding.
Mm-hmm.
He was getting almost 10 yards a carry.
Man, I'm going to go with the Arizona wide receiver, Terriola McMillan, against West Virginia.
T-Mac.
Yep. He had 10 catches, 202 yards, and 1 touchdown. 202.
Impressive.
But
In that first game, he had like over 200 yards too. That man, he's a good wide receiver.
wide receiver, man. Wide receiver. So guys, we are officially, literally, well, when this podcast comes out, it will be the month of November. November is for the contenders. College football playoff rankings are coming out. There's a lot to be made in this last month. So we are going to do contenders or pretenders. I'm going to name a team. You're just going to say, are they a contender to actually win the national championship? Or are they fool's gold going to make the playoffs and be like a first round exit, if that?
Okay.
All right. And let's start off with our opponent. Penn State, contender or pretender?
You really had to start off with Penn State. Without saying how they play against Ohio State, for now, I'm going to say contender.
Contender. Okay. Cedric?
I'm going to say pretender.
All right. I mean, I'm leaning more on the pretender thing. I think I have the same. I'm going with Cedric's pick, but I have the same reason for Byron. I need to see how they play against Ohio State. But right now, I think I think they probably get upset in the playoffs because that's just who James Franklin is.
Yeah. The only reason I say is contender is because I've seen them come back against USC when they should have dominated USC. So that's the only reason I'm going contender.
A team that took their ass beating 2 weeks ago and struggled this week. The Texas Longhorns. Contender or pretender?
I'm still saying contender.
Okay. Cedric?
I'm going to stick with contender. I think their offense is still their offense.
Mm-hmm.
They lost. They beat a Vanderbilt team who beat Alabama. So, like, it's not like they struggled against some pushover squad. Like, Vanderbilt has heart. So,
man, a team that Cedric just mentioned, who was on the outside looking in on a 12-team playoff, if they could do something. The Alabama Crimson Tide. Contender or pretender?
Pretender.
Okay.
I'm going to say contender.
All right.
I think that team has, when they play right, they can ball out. I mean, we all know that Missouri has been bullshit this whole season, but to blank them,
yeah,
34-0.
Yeah.
I gotta give that the props to them.
Man, the team that probably took the most embarrassing loss of the year. Well, now it's debatable because of the Vanderbilt and all that stuff. But this team lost to Northern Illinois. Now it's still the number 8 team in the country. Notre Dame. That Texas A&M win at Texas A&M at night is looking better and better every week.
I really hate them.
Ooh, Notre Dame or Texas A&M?
Notre Dame. I really do hate them. And you know what? I'm willing to be wrong because I'm going to change my hate. I'm going to say contender. And the only reason I am going to say contender is as much as I hate Riley Leonard, that man is a college fantasy football quarterback because this dude will get multiple passing touchdowns and at least one rushing tutty. Like every game. This man runs the rock. I know if it's the Navy, they play hard, but we all know ain't nobody looking at this them beating Navy as like a fucking Herculean effort at any means. Like this team definitely still struggles in the trenches. And they are so flaky, but I want to say contender because I think when push comes to shove, their defense does bail them out. And I think that will be the only reason they will be successful in the playoff.
Pardon?
I'm going to go contender right now. I'm just looking at their schedule. They have a easy rest of the year schedule.
In theory.
So they should make the playoffs.
Okay. What about then, since we were just talking about them, the team sitting up top of the SEC up there with the big boys, Texas A&M. Who would have thought we would be sitting here saying Texas A&M is on top of the SEC?
Not me.
I know Marsden was waiting for this time. It just came real quick.
Hey, man. I'm just saying, Texas A&M made one. They fired one coach. They're 5-0 in the conference.
5-0 in the conference. I'm gonna say pretender for now.
Because in theory, South Carolina, New Mexico State, Auburn, and then Texas.
That Texas game could change my mind. Could make them contender if they beat Texas. But right now, I'm going to say pretender.
They beat Texas. They go undefeated in the whole conference.
Yeah.
I mean, I think before, well, depending, actually, if they get to Texas undefeated, I think they automatically already clinch a spot in the SEC title game unless someone else. Yeah, if they don't lose.
Yeah, because right now they're 1 and Georgia's 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they beat Texas. Yeah, they would be in that SEC championship game.
Nope. Cedric, what are your thoughts on the A&M?
I'm with Byron only because I want to see what they do against Texas. Like,
fair enough. Mm-hmm.
They run the rock. I'll give them that. They'll run the rock. Like, if you can't stop the run, they're running that shit down your throat. I mean, they had a quarterback that had 3 rushing touchdowns and a running back that had 2 rushing touchdowns. They had almost like over 200 yards rushing.
Mm-hmm.
They only threw the ball 20 times. So,
yeah.
And their starting quarterback got benched with a backup.
Mm-hmm.
That's life sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, besides Michigan, this past couple of years, a hated Ohio State rival, the team that's quietly still there, the Clemson Tigers, contender or pretender?
Dabo got them right where he wants them. They have bounced back against that Georgia loss at the beginning of the year. They haven't lost a game since then. And they don't play Miami until possibly the championship.
Mm-hmm.
But right now they're number 1 in the ACC, so all holes serves, they will play Miami. I'm going to say contender for now. And I don't like saying that.
It's all right, but by next week, all these could be all changed.
Yeah, this is true.
A couple upsets, and it's like, damn, you out.
I'm going to say contender. I'm going to say contender for right now. I think right now they're in a really ripe position in the ACC. I feel like a lot of people wrote them off a little bit at the beginning of the year because, Miami came out just blasting, and people got the shock and awe of seeing Florida State kind of shit the bed. And they're like, well, I don't know where Clemson fits in all this picture. And I think exactly like Byron said, like Dabo has them right where he wants them. They don't play Miami. In theory, they should be able to win out the rest of the ACC. I don't know if Miami is going to lose another game. I believe they play Duke this week. I don't think they will lose that game, but Miami's been odd.
Every week it's a movie with them.
Like this last week, Cam Ward didn't throw a single touchdown pass, but he's been averaging like 4 touchdown passes a game. But he caught a touchdown, which is just I don't know what I don't know if they're just doing shit just to be doing shit like over there or what. Like, so I think Clemson has the potential. I'm gonna call them a contender because don't sleep on them.
No,
please don't sleep on them because they'll come. If they come and upset Miami in that championship game, then shit. Dabo's back.
We'll see how that goes. We'll revisit these next week. Man, winners and losers, guys. Cedric, who do you have for winners this past week?
Winners this past week. Shout out to Jameis Winston. I know it's Byron's guy, and they let him go. But honestly, I don't know. I couldn't. As much as I shout on the Browns fandom, last week. Jameis Winston came in and gave exactly what you people wanted. And so y'all should be sending him flowers, candy, cookies, wings, whatever the hell that man wants to eat. Because he got y'all that dub against the number one team in the division at the time was the Baltimore Ravens. And he put on a fucking good show. Like, that's probably my winner for them. I'm going to say that I think that's it for right now.
Okay. Byron?
I have two winners. First, well, they're both a group. First group, NFL tight ends. They really showed out on National Tight End Day. Hopefully, they can sustain this for the rest of this year, have a resurgence, because they have not been doing that well this year. But National Tight End Day, they showed out. My second winner, the Detroit Lions. One, they hung 52 points on the Titans, which they had 6 offensive touchdowns for 6 different people, so no person had multiple touchdowns. And they also had a 90-yard punt return for a touchdown. So their offense is firing on all cylinders. They might make it to the Super Bowl this year, so they're my winner.
Knocking on wood so hard for them. I need them to do something. Like, it's their time, honestly.
Man, well, Byron, you did take one of mine because I was going to do the tight ends since they broke records on National Tight End Day. So you took that one. I will then go to one of them being Mr. Travis Hunter. First player in Big 12 history, because they moved to the Big 12, to be named Offensive and Defensive Player of the Week.
I feel like that happens in college football, the game, all the damn time.
Right.
Apparently, he's the first one in Big 12 history to be named both the offensive and defensive player in the same week, in the same season.
I wonder why that is.
So, helping his Heisman campaign. And another winner right now, man. It's early in the season, but shouting out Byron's guy, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, aka SGA, balling really well these first couple games of the season. So, and the Thunder are looking good. Chet Holmgren looking good, maybe potential most improved player. But NBA here, man, there's already been some crazy performances in the first week and a half, and more to come. More storylines.
Ben Chero getting 50 last night.
On 19, 26 shots.
Yeah.
Oof. Way to get it.
Very efficient. So we'll see on that, man. Byron, losers.
I got 2 losers for the week. First one, Anthony Richardson.
No!
He comes out of the game in the fourth quarter. I thought maybe because he was injured on the play. Nope, he was tired. But now he lost his starting job.
He lost his starting job. His career might be done.
Oh, no.
Hey. And I had this man on my fantasy team, so it double hurts. But, I had to drop him this week. Glad I did. My second loser, the New York Giants for that awful 2-point conversion. They really had neighbors, had a convoy of blockers ready to help them convert that 2-point conversion, but nobody blocked the player. So what was the point of that?
Oh, man.
Cedric.
Oh, bro, I'm going Kyle McCord all day. Bro, my guy, while we still somewhat love you, that performance we do not love. And honestly, I'm going to Syracuse head coach. I left him in there. I thought I was watching my Road to Glory tape on that when he was playing. I was like, this man threw 3 pick sixes and 5 interceptions, and he's still playing in the game? I was wondering where the announcers going to say, and they're still keeping him in. He threw another pick. I have that line memorized well from College Football 24. Appreciate you, Kyle, for making me realize that sometimes this shit is real life. I mean, man still threw for 300 yards. It's wild. Threw for over 300 yards and 5 interceptions. What the hell?
Ooh, both really really, really good ones. I might have more, but this was my first one I thought about. All right. So Notre Dame plays at South Bend, Indiana, correct? Just want to
Correct.
establish that.
Mhm.
All right. The reason they're not my loser, by the way, it's just segue before people start ripping me to shreds like I'm an idiot. The reason I'm bringing up Notre Dame is because my loser, the Jets and the Giants combined, and the reason I'm bringing up Notre Dame is Notre Dame, who plays home games. Their home games are in South Bend, Indiana. Notre Dame has more touchdowns at MetLife Stadium this season than the Jets and Giants combined.
Yes.
Wait, what?
Yes.
Notre Dame has scored 7 touchdowns in that one game where they just beat the dog shit out of
Navy.
Navy.
Yeah.
So 7 touchdowns at
Yeah.
MetLife. The Jets
Correct.
and Giants combined 6 touchdowns in MetLife.
Correct. Can't confirm. Yes.
That's wild. That's wild.
That's funny. I mean, Daniel Jones hasn't had a touchdown at home in almost 2 years, so
Yep, and the Jets are absolutely ass. Speaking of, you clowns, you fired everybody, so you have no one to blame, and then you go and lose to the Patriots. The Patriots. Like, it's not even Thanksgiving. You just got Devontae Adams, and y'all might already have to plan your Cancun trip.
they ain't going to Cancun.
You know, Roger's about to go on his darkness retreat again.
He said he's seen darkness before. He knows how to get out of it. I said, okay. Well, 2 and 6 is 2 and 6, brother. So,
But we ain't talking about the
That's,
jail cell he shared with Chanel Woodley. That's not darkness.
so they,
Man said I've seen darkness before. That's funny.
Stop.
So
Stop
it. That's just embarrassing because again, Notre Dame, that was one game. The Jets and Giants have been playing there. We're at the halfway point of the NFL season. Halfway.
Yeah.
So,
Man, them niggas be lucky.
Daniel Jones sucks.
Them
I'm
boys
still
man.
mad that he really fleeced the Giants into paying him all that money and hasn't thrown a touchdown at home in 2 years.
that's what happens when you win a playoff game.
It's great. It's great.
You can demand that bucks.
Listen, I love it. I'm here for it. I actually want him to ask for more money because him asking for money is how we got Saquon. So
True.
I'm with it. When I remember when they inked that deal, I was like, you guys are fucking idiots. Y'all should have paid Saquon. Like, this is not going to work. And just wait. Another team in that division made a similar decision, and it's going to be great. It's going to be great.
I got nothing more to say. I mean, there's probably some more losers out there, but that Jets one is just awful.
They asked, bro. They can't go to Cancun. They won't let them in. They're ass. It's like they're going somewhere else. They're going to stateside. They're going to see the state parks on the off season.
Hey Byron, who was it the Titans who let them score a 50 piece on them? Let Detroit score a 50 piece on them?
The Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, I think if you were an NFL team and you score a 50 piece, I think you should forfeit 2 games. If someone scores 50 on your head in an NFL game, you should forfeit 2 games.
Honestly, I don't even need them forfeit games. You should have to pay some money because
I'm down with that too.
I think there should be a fine. I think there should be a fine. You let them run it up on you like that, there should be a fine. You wasted all these people goddamn money. These are professionals, and they ran it up on you like that. You should pay a fine.
No,
like it makes no goddamn sense. Someone scoring 50 fucking points in professional football.
Yeah, 50. Ooh.
That's insane, man.
Like this isn't fucking Madden. Like this isn't fucking Madden. Craziest thing is, didn't Detroit do that before? Isn't this like the second game they scored like a fuck ton of points?
Let me tell you.
They put a big 40 burger on Dallas, I think.
Yeah, they put 42 against the Seahawks, 47 against the Cowboys.
Yeah, 47.
They were close to 50.
Like, god damn, bro. Like, these motherfuckers. Jared Goff, someone test that man.
And the crazy thing is, he didn't really have to throw that much. He would have had like 85 yards and 3 touchdowns.
You don't do this. This isn't normally him. Who's acting up? Who the fuck with the band?
I don't know, but there was one other thing. I guess it's I don't know if it's really a winter thing, but since we have a slew of people, by maybe the next time we listen to this or whatnot, on our own podcast, there's going to be some birthdays coming up. We had one already, Mitch Oso, Dragon Ball expert. The next one is actually myself. At the time of recording, that'd be tomorrow, and then November 4th will be the My Hero enthusiast Andrea Alanis, and then the 8th is actually the producers, Justin Akinel. So we got some birthdays coming up all in a row.
Damn, all y'all niggas are Scorpios? That's too many fucking people. God damn.
Origin things.
So we'll be able
That's fucking wild.
So birthdays all coming up. So with that being said, thank you everyone for listening to the L7C podcast. It is Penn State week. We have to lock in. It is November. By the time you listen to this podcast, we really need to lock in. There's no more room for errors, losses, anything of that if we want to get to where we want to get to. Ryan Day, you know what you got to do, brother. You know what you got to do. Will Howard, play within yourself. Don't try and what do the old people say? Don't try to be a hot dog out there or something like that, or some old term, but don't be a dumbass. Long story short. And running backs, we don't pay y'all millions of dollars to get under 70 yards. This is a $20 million team. Come on. And James Franklin, respectfully, you need to take this L, man. Sorry. If you win, your legacy changes. If you lose, it's the same. So you can afford a loss. So with that being said, thank you everyone for listening to the L7C podcast. Signing out.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the L7C podcast. Be sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all social media platforms, and we'll be talking to you guys soon. Take care.